You might be binging, restricting, or just making unhealthy choices around food, and you know that you need to do something to change your relationship to food in general and to your body and how you eat. You're not sure though. Should you pick one thing to do and stick with it? Sometimes you might do that and find that you start off really strong, but then after a while, it just doesn't seem to work in the same way anymore. Yet people talk about the importance of consistency, habit, and routine. So you feel like maybe you should stick with it, but it's not really working and you don't really like it. In this video, I'll explore the benefits of consistency and also the downsides, and share with you a middle path that hopefully will help you to move forward consistently and also joyfully to make a true change in your relationship with food. There are a lot of benefits to consistency. For one thing, it helps to create a habit, and with habit, it becomes a lot easier to do something that is helping. If you stop and start, then your mind doesn't get the same message that this is something that's worth doing. And so it becomes much easier to stop and give up, which is not what you want to do. Consistency also builds discipline, and if part of what you're looking for is to have a greater sense of control over what you're eating and how you're eating and when you're eating, then that discipline muscle, so to speak, is something that you want to build up. Consistency is also great in that it helps you to progress over time and to see how you're progressing over time. A little bit like with doing an experiment, you have to know the parameters to be able to see what's working and maybe what isn't. Consistency can also build a sense of emotional stability. It can feel like a safe place to be. And it also, in that sense, builds a sense of trust in yourself, a feeling that you can do something and carry on with it. So it's connected with the feeling of discipline, and yet it's also something deeper. It's that you can trust that you are going to take care of yourself in lots of different ways. And that is a good thing to know, that you aren't just self-sabotaging all the time, that you really do have your own best interests at heart, when sometimes it may not have felt that way in the past. However, there can also be some downsides to consistency. For one thing, it may lead to a certain rigidity, and situations in our lives and we ourselves are fluid. We are ever changing. What you liked and what you needed yesterday is not necessarily going to be the same as what you like or need tomorrow. And so if you're stuck in a feeling that you have to do something to be consistent, then you could actually be creating a rigid barrier that doesn't allow you to move with your own changing needs and desires. Equally, there's a saying that perfection is stagnation. And definitely with consistency, there can come a sense of having reached a plateau and you're no longer progressing, or perhaps, as I said before, it just doesn't seem to work as well anymore, even though you are doing exactly the same thing. And part of this is because we do like variety. That is something that as humans we are programmed to look for. And so always having everything be exactly identical can feel very safe, and it can also feel quite stuck. And it can stop us from feeling any passion for doing it or feeling any joy in it. And we need passion and joy in our lives too. Another problem with consistency is that there can be an element of confirmation bias. You expect to see something and therefore you do see it because you're looking for it. Whereas taking a more flexible or experimental approach could allow you to see different things that might be more useful or more helpful. So that can be a positive side to actually doing different things, trying different things, experimenting, not being consistent. Another issue around consistency is that we may have unrealistic expectations, expecting that something will work perfectly or 100%. And if it falls short of that, then you might be tempted to give up on it entirely, a kind of black or white thinking, if it isn't working the way it's supposed to, then it's not working at all. And that may not be true either, yet it is an issue if we are in this more rigid mindset that we have to be consistent and that it can only be one possible answer. Therefore, I'm a huge fan of committing to doing something daily. That in itself is your consistency. You will commit to doing something every single day to improve your relationship with food. However, you may find that it is better for you to do different things on different days, or to commit to something perhaps for a week and then change to doing a different something for the next week and a different something for the week after that. In this way, you still have consistency because you are doing something daily, but exactly what you're doing changes so that you don't fall into the trap of stagnation, boredom, and rigidity. It can also be very helpful to focus in on different topics at different times. So, for example, the big picture is that you're doing something to improve your relationship with food. However, one time it might be that you're focusing on cravings, as I did when I tapped 30 days on cravings, and you can find that video here, hopefully, if I learn how to do that. Or you could eat your food mindfully for 30 days, as I did in this video here. You could set yourself a certain amount of time to focus on a particular emotion if it's something that's been troubling you, and to consistently explore that for, say, a week or a month, whatever it might be. And always with this sense that if that isn't working, check in, see, is it working? And if it's not, then try doing something different. You might want to take a different approach. You might move from tapping to havening. You might move from breathing exercises to a visualization. You might do something else entirely, journaling or something else. And yet the fact of making a commitment to yourself and to a daily practice is something that will give you almost all of the benefits of consistency, because you are creating good habits, you are following through on them, and you are making that promise to yourself so that your subconscious mind recognizes, yes, this really is something that's important and that I am consistently doing something about because I really want transformation here. Yet it also allows you enough flexibility to say, well, this is more of a problem for me right at this moment now, or I'm finding this really interesting and helpful, so I'll stick with that for a while. You can be playful with this, find what works for you within that framework of consistency. So, as I say, you might say, I'll do this particular approach on this particular subject for such an amount of time, or I'll work on this subject and try different approaches every week or every day. It really is about seeing what works for you. It might be that on a day when you're already feeling calm, a visualization is better for you. Whereas on a day when you're quite buzzy, then some kind of psychosensory technique to bring calm into your body is more helpful. You can be intuitive around this, but still with the consistency of I am doing something to help with this situation, and I am doing something every single day. In that way, you get the best of both consistency and keeping it fresh. So, happy experimenting. And if you'd like a little bit of help with that, I have a mini course on silencing food noise, where I offer 3 different kinds of approach to quieting the food noise. These are 3 different areas that I think are important and 3 different approaches to those areas, all while staying within the boundaries of quieting food noise.